What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another ranking video. Today we are going to be ranking the Mario Kart items. This is a tier list I did a little far back in the past, but this is more of a redo of how I feel about the items. Also, no tour exclusive items because, to be honest, I don't know how many, I could count some tour exclusive items, but most of them function too similar to what I'm going to show for these items. I mean, a little bit differently, so yeah, too bad, no tour. I'm not one of those guys who hates on tour, by the way, but still, I think it makes it easier to account more of the more, iconic items, so yeah. Let's go ahead and get this started. Starting this off with the red shell. So, yeah, the one red shell, just one. You throw one red shell, it chases after the opponent you're in front of. I mean, it's the iconic item we're used to. I mean, depending on where you rank this, it depends, because there's sometimes better versions of certain items. Really depending on how you view them, but yeah, I gotta put this in A tier. This is an OP item. It can also protect you, so yeah. Next up we have is the Super Horn. Also, I'm ranking these based on usage and stuff like that, so yeah. Yeah. The Super Horn pretty much kills a lot of items if you use it. If something's chasing you, just use it. Even the blue shell can destroy it. So this makes it pretty much one of the most broken items in the entire game. But of course, it's due to timing as well. So it's not the easiest thing to use, so yeah. Next up we have is the Tanuki Leaf. This is an item I always forget is even a thing. It's in Mario Kart 7. You have a Tanuki Leaf on your car and you jump a few times to swing around your car to hit opponents. This was always such a weird power-up I personally never really liked, honestly. I don't know, it's just kind of not really a fan of it personally. This goes in D tier. I'm glad it never returned, I hope it doesn't. I don't know, maybe 3 swings would be better than just straight up multiple, but that would probably make it pretty... I don't know, maybe 3 swings, maybe that would make it a little more interesting. Maybe I won't spam it. I don't know. I can't really say come back. Next up we have is the Thundercloud. Yeah, this item. So, this is an interesting item that you either love this power-up as for haha funnies and highlights, or you extremely hate it. And I'm with the haters, I'm sorry. You basically go for a decent amount of speed, and then you run into opponents to pass a cloud to a different person. It's like a hot potato type of thing, and after a few seconds, the thundercloud will make you small. So you can either be really lucky or very not. It's really depending on your vibe with it. It's kind of debatable whether if you view it fun or not. I don't care, it goes in D tier. One of the worst Mario items, and I'm hoping it doesn't come back. Next up we have is triple green shells. Yeah, triple green shells. Basically, you throw 3 green shells all over the place. You're very likely to hit someone, but there's also a chance you could hit yourself. So, yeah. But I think this goes in a decent enough A tier, though, because it can also protect you around yourself. So, yeah. Next up we have is the triple mushrooms. This is basically, 3 mushrooms. You go really fast. You boost through 3 times. You gotta make sure you limit them out, though. Sometimes you get very lucky with the mushrooms, though. I'm also not counting when you get hit by them. So, again, another A tier. Next up we have is the blooper. This is one of the, if not, excuse me, in my opinion, the worst item in the Mario Kart series. It sprays ink on you, but there's times that you can still see where you're going regardless, so this item feels extremely useless. Make the blooper playable in Mario Kart. I mean, he was playable in Mario Party 8 and Mario Tennis, so why not? Yeah, worst item in Mario Kart. Next up we have is the bullet bill. You dash through forward and hope to take first place. I mean, yeah, it's like an S tier. I mean, what more do you need to say about this power? I mean, this item. It's like you get a big old boost, and it helps you a lot, so yeah. Next up we have is the green shell, the one we're used to. This is a weird one to rank, honestly, because it's literally 1 green shell. It can protect you if you hold it behind you, but also it's like 1 green shell. You're not sure if you get someone until you're really lucky. So, I think a B tier is good enough, though, but it is a pretty good power-up. Next up we have is the lightning. This pretty much shrinks opponents basically in front of you. This is one of those items you would only get if you're very far behind. So it's pretty rare to get it, but it is a pretty dirty power-up. So a dirty item. I'm gonna say power-up a few times, I know it's. Next up we have is the star. Basically how it's like a star how it uses in Mario series. You're invincible through stuff for a few seconds and pass your opponents. It's one of the best items for sure, so S tier. I'm really debating to put Thunder up here, but I don't know. Sometimes yeah, what the heck. Next up we have is the Fireball. This is Fireballs based on Double Dash, by the way, not we're going to talk about the fire flower later. Basically, you shoot a few fireballs up forward and try to hit opponents. This is the one in Double Dash. Yes, we're ranking Double Dash items, though. To be honest, this is a hit or miss special item in my opinion. This is a little more on the basic side. I can't really give much an opinion on this one. Sometimes you're very lucky to hit someone, but sometimes you're just not. So I think a B tier is fine enough, but I don't know. It's just kind of just there. Kind of weird. It's coming from the Mario Bros. Specifically. Next up we have is the big banana peel. Yeah, this is a big banana that you would basically get stunned for a little bit if you get by it. Also a chance of dropping other banana peels too. So yeah, I can help you. It's still a banana peel, so it's not the most useful thing out there, but for defensive ones, yeah, this is one of my favorites, honestly. So yeah, totally no bias. Next up we have is a Chain Chomp from Baby Mario, Baby Luigi special items. Basically, you dash forward, sort of this is when the bullet bill was in development, is why I view this. You basically dash your opponents, but there's also a chance you could fall, so you gotta be careful before a Chain Chomp lets go. So yeah, definitely an item you would get more or less if you were far behind, but it's pretty funny, so yeah. Next up we have is a blue shell. It's self-explanatory. Chase someone in first place unless you're lucky to do the blue shell dodge. So yeah, but otherwise, yeah, it's an A tier. I mean, come on. Next up we have is the ball bombs. You throw a ball bomb to hope to hit opponents with a big old explosion. This is a weird one to rank because it seems like a big explosion, but you have to be super rare to hit. It's still so satisfying to actually hit someone with it. So above B tier, not an A tier though. Next up we have is the boomerang. This is honestly one of those items I'm very conflicted on. Because it seems like it's a boomerang. You hit someone with it, and it comes back to you. You get hit twice, technically. Well, maybe. I don't know. If it's ability frames. But, I don't know. It's one of those items I never really like holding, personally. So, I don't know. Not really a big fan of it, personally. So, C tier. Next up we have is the Boo. I'm not sure why they haven't made a normal Boo playable, even if we already had King Boo, but I don't know. This is a hit or miss item you can get. It steals your items. It steals items basically from opponents. You can be very lucky with it or very unlucky with this. So this is more of a hit or miss item. So I probably put it above C tier because sometimes they give you something good, but sometimes it doesn't. And like, what's the chance you're gonna get something crazy? So yeah. Next up we have is the feather. This is really only used in like battle mode. This is only used in like Super Mario Kart and battle mode in Mario Kart 8. Basically, you can make a huge jump and even skip some parts. So it's a pretty cool item, but just limited to certain sections. So yeah. Next up we have is the coin. This is one of the more divisive items from my experience. Because it seems like it helps you, you know, build up speed and stuff, even if it's barely noticeable, but also, like, you just don't want to have it in your inventory when you already have 10 coins. Especially, this is more of, like, appears in some Mario Kart games, too, so, I don't know, I'll probably just put it in the middle, honestly, because I don't know where else to rank it. Next up we have is a triple banana peel. It's basically 3 banana peels you can place on the field. Honestly, definitely one of the better items, honestly, probably lower A tier, though. Next up we have is the fake item box. This is basically an item box, but it's fake. If you touch it, you're gonna get hurt. This has been an item staple for a while before it just got removed, apparently. It was very, like, similar for, like, DS and 64, although not that similar with DS, but still. But then there was, like, it got removed since Wii. I generally, even though it's pretty, it doesn't help you, like, defend items. You can't hold it behind you, just protect yourself, so that's one of the major downsides. But, I don't know, like, I never understood why it never came back. Even if it's useless, I think it should come back, honestly, so I don't know. I think a lower B tier, though, because it's, yeah. Next up we have is the fire flower, where you basically mash that button to spam a bunch of fireballs. This works in like Mario Kart 8 though. But yeah, it's a fine enough power up to hit opponents, so yeah. Can be really useful or can be not. Above B tier. Next up we have is the golden dash mushroom. A million mushrooms in one. You basically get to go speedy as you want. Definitely one of the better items, honestly. I'm speeding through this right now. Next up we have is the Yoshi egg. I'm talking about Double Dash, by the way, not the one in Super Mario Kart because you can't even use it. Basically, it's like a red shell, kind of, basically, and if it hits an opponent, some items would drop. You can be very lucky with them sometimes. They even give you a star at some point. So, it's like a red shell, but better. So, yeah, A tier. I can understand why it's never returned. Next up we have is hearts from Peach and Daisy special items. This is like a protection, like more of a protection type item. If you hit someone with the heart, around your car, basically you'll get items. You get that type of item. Basically, you can steal items. So it can be very useful or kind of not. But it's a lower B tier due to like an overshell by like other items I use. So yeah, but it's pretty useful at times. So you never know. But okay, maybe that's a little too harsh around here. Crazy 7. 7 items you would get. Some of them could be pretty useful. Yeah, I mean, come on. We gotta put this in like A tier. And I'll put the crazy 8 and also in A tier, because like, yeah. 87, why not? Next up we have is the Mega Mushroom. You grow big to move fast. And also crush opponents. You can still get hit by like bullet bills and stuff though, so you're not completely invincible, but you can still hit opponents. I'm surprised this hasn't returned in the Mario Kart game, honestly, so yeah, A tier. Next up we have is the triple red shells. 3 red shells! If you miss one, you can keep throwing another one to hit someone. Definitely one of the better items for sure. Gotta put this in S tier. Next up we have is the banana peel. It's your normal banana peel. I mean, it's like the shell, kinda. You can protect yourself. You can lay it on the floor if you want to. But yeah, above B tier because like it's the same rank as like a shell. So yeah. Next up we have is, speaking of shell, we have the Bowser shell. This could be a win or lose situation right here. A big old shell you can get hit by. Definitely one of the more broken items, honestly. S tier. Next up we have is the normal mushroom itself. Even though it's just one mushroom, it can help at some points like taking shortcuts. So I think a lower A tier is a good enough placement. Next up we have is Piranha Plant. This gives you a speed boost. You can chomp through opponents to go fast. Honestly, definitely one of the cooler items. And last but not least is the Pow Block. Surprising, this one has a return. A Pow Block symbol appears above your head. And after like 2 shakes, the 3rd shake, you're going to try to spin out. There is a timing you could do so you don't completely spin out, even if you still lose your item. So yeah. I don't know where to rank this, because like sometimes it'd be helpful, sometimes it's not. I mean, spinning is kind of nice, but I don't know. It's just kind of... It's like a B tier. And that's the Mario Kart items ranked. So yeah, another ranking done. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. What do you think is the best Mario Kart item? I mean, it's one of these in S tier for sure, right? Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time for more. Later, folks.